the doors of a Cadbury Dairy Milk factory swing open, revealing a world where the air hums with the faint, intoxicating scent of cocoa. This isn't just a factory, it's a bustling hive, where raw ingredients transform into millions of chocolate bars that find their way into your hands. Whether you're snapping a piece to share at a party or savoring a quiet moment alone. Today, we're diving deep into the mesmerizing process of how Cadbury Dairy Milk bars are made. From the sun-soaked cocoa farms of West Africa to the gleaming production lines that churn out perfection, every step is a blend of science, art, and a touch of magic. And we're here to uncover it all: secrets, surprises, and the sheer scale of it. Let's step inside and see how this global icon comes to life. Our journey begins thousands of miles away, in the vibrant cocoa farms of Ivory Coast and Ghana, where over 60% of the world's cocoa beans are grown. The climate here is a perfect recipe: warm, humid, with gentle rains that nurture cocoa trees into bearing plump, colorful pods in shades of green, yellow, and red. Farmers, with hands skilled from years of tradition, slice open these pods with machetes, revealing clusters of cocoa beans nestled in a sweet, pulpy white flesh. These beans, fresh from the pod, are far from the chocolate. You know, they're bitter, gritty, almost alien in their raw state. Workers scoop them out, pile them under banana leaves, and let them ferment for up to a week, a process that sparks the first hints of that rich cocoa flavor. The beans are then spread out under the blazing tropical sun, drying until they rattle like tiny treasures, ready for their journey to the factory. When those beans arrive at the Cadbury factory, they're greeted by a flurry of activity. Massive silos, glinting under the daylight, hold thousands of pounds of cocoa beans, each one a promise of chocolatey goodness. The beans are first cleaned, passing through vibrating screens that shake off dust, twigs, and any stray bits from the harvest. The machines whir and hum, ensuring only the best beans move forward. Then comes the roasting, a critical moment where the factory feels alive with energy. Giant rotating drums, each the size of a small car, heat the beans to exact temperatures, anywhere from 250 to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on the batch. The air fills with a deep, nutty aroma as the beans darken, their shells cracking open. This isn't just cooking, it's alchemy, coaxing out complex flavors like fruit, smoke, or even a hint of caramel, depending on the bean's origin. A technician nearby adjusts the dials, eyes locked on a digital display to ensure every second of roasting is perfect. Fun fact: Cadbury tweaks roasting times based on the bean source, with Ghanaian beans often roasted longer for a bolder flavor, while Ivory Coast beans lean toward a fruitier note. Next, the roasted beans head to a cracking machine, where they're split open with a satisfying crunch. The outer shells fall away, revealing cocoa nibs, the heart of the chocolate. These nibs are fed into grinders, where they're pulverized into a thick, molten paste called cocoa liquor. The grinding generates intense heat, melting the cocoa's natural fats into a glossy liquid that flows through gleaming stainless steel pipes. Here's a surprising twist. This cocoa liquor is pressed in massive hydraulic presses to separate the creamy cocoa butter from the dry cocoa powder. Cadbury saves that golden cocoa butter, blending it back in later to give dairy milk its signature melt-in-your-mouth texture. The powder, meanwhile, is set aside for other products, like drinking chocolate, but for dairy milk, it's all about that luscious butter. Did you know a single press can produce enough cocoa butter in an hour to make over 10,000 bars? Now, let's talk milk, the soul of dairy milk. Fresh from farms where cows graze on lush green pastures, the milk arrives in gleaming tankers, chilled to preserve its natural sweetness. Inside the factory, it's pumped into massive stainless steel vats, each holding thousands of gallons. The milk is gently pasteurized to ensure safety without losing its creamy flavor, then concentrated into a thick, velvety liquid that intensifies its richness. Cadbury's experts sometimes blend milk from different regions. Think English countryside meets Australian plains to hit the perfect flavor note for each market. A surprising fact: a single dairy milk factory can process enough milk in a day to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool, all destined for those creamy bars. The concentrated milk flows through a network of pipes, ready to join the chocolate in a dance of flavors. Sugar is the next star of the show. Sourced from both sugarcane and sugar beets, it arrives in towering heaps, sparkling like edible diamonds. Sugarcane, grown in tropical regions like Brazil or Mauritius, brings a subtle fruity warmth, while sugar beets from cooler climates, like Europe, add an earthy depth. In the factory, the sugar is ground into a fine powder, sifted to silky perfection, and stored in giant hoppers that loom like silver towers. Here's a jaw-dropping stat: One dairy milk factory can use enough sugar daily to sweeten over 1 million bars. As the sugar cascades into mixing vats, it's like watching a snowfall of sweetness, ready to balance the cocoa's intensity and complement the milk's creaminess. The real magic happens in the blending stage. Enormous mixers, their blades whirry like a culinary symphony. Combine cocoa liquor, cocoa butter, milk, and sugar in precise ratios. The mixture is heated gently, melding the flavors into a smooth, liquid chocolate. But it doesn't stop there. This is where conching comes in. A process that's pure obsession. For hours, sometimes up to 3 days for premium batches, the chocolate is stirred and heated in giant conching machines. These massive vats, with rollers grinding the mixture, refine every particle, melting away any gritty sugar crystals and smoothing the cocoa to a velvety finish. The air in this room is thick with the warm, heady scent of chocolate, so rich you can almost taste it through the screen. Technicians monitor every second, tweaking settings on digital screens to ensure the texture is flawless, because dairy milk isn't just chocolate, it's an experience. Fun fact, conching was invented in the 19th century by Rodolphe Lindt, but Cadbury perfected it for dairy milk, making it the gold standard for creamy texture. From here, the liquid chocolate flows through a labyrinth of gleaming pipes to the molding stage. Picture massive hoppers, brimming with molten chocolate, kept at a precise 85 degrees Fahrenheit, to stay pourable, but not too hot to lose its delicate flavor. Below, a conveyor belt hums along, carrying rows of molds, shaped like the iconic dairy milk bar. Those chunky rectangles you know so well, designed for easy sharing. The chocolate pours in a glossy cascade, filling each mold with surgical precision. Machines vibrate the molds gently, releasing tiny air bubbles to ensure a smooth, flawless surface. Here's a cool secret. Cadbury's molds are polished to a mirror-like finish, so every bar emerges with a jewel-like shine. As the molds glide forward, the chocolate starts to take shape. Inching closer to the bar, you'll snap in half. The molds now enter a cooling tunnel, a sleek chamber where the air is crisp and controlled. The chocolate hardens slowly, bathed in cool air that drops the temperature just right too fast, and the bars could turn chalky. Too slow, and they'd lose their crisp snap. The tunnel is a marvel of engineering, with fans circulating air at exact humidity levels to lock in that glossy sheen. Workers in crisp white coats patrol the line, checking for imperfections with laser focus. Did you know Cadbury's cooling process is so precise it can take up to 20 minutes per bar to ensure perfection? As the molds exit the tunnel, the chocolate is solid, smooth, and ready for its big reveal. Demolding is next, and it's oddly satisfying to watch. The molds are flipped, and with a gentle tap, the bars pop out, their surfaces gleaming under the factory's bright lights. Robotic arms, moving with almost human grace, lift each bar and place it on a conveyor belt. It's like a ballet of precision, every movement calculated to avoid even the slightest scratch. Quality inspectors, with eyes like hawks, scan each bar for flaws: a tiny crack, an air bubble, anything less than perfect. Fun fact, Cadbury recycles thousands of rejected bars daily, melting them back into the process to ensure zero waste. The bars that pass muster glide forward, ready for their iconic purple wrapping. The packaging line is a spectacle of speed and accuracy. Each bar is wrapped in foil to seal in freshness. Then swathed in that unmistakable purple wrapper, the Cadbury logo, crisp and bold in white. High-speed machines fold the wrappers with razor-sharp precision. Every edge perfect, every seal tight. High-resolution cameras scan each bar, catching any wrinkle or misprint before it leaves the line. In a single hour, this line can wrap enough bars to fill a delivery van, all destined for stores across the globe. As the bars zip along, it's hard not to feel the excitement. These are the bars that'll soon be in your hands, ready to spark a moment of joy. Quality control is where Cadbury's obsession shines. In a high-tech lab tucked within the factory, technicians test bars from every batch. They measure the snap when a bar breaks, analyze the cocoa butter content with spectrometers, and even taste for flavor consistency. Sensory scientists, trained for years to detect the slightest variation, sample bars with the precision of wine. Here's a surprising fact. Cadbury once caught a batch with a slightly nuttier flavor due to a new cocoa supplier and adjusted it before it hit shelves, ensuring every bar tastes exactly like the dairy milk you know and love. Every bar that leaves this factory meets a gold standard, ensuring that whether you're in Tokyo, Toronto, or Timbuktu, your dairy milk delivers the same creamy bliss. The scale of this operation is staggering. A single Cadbury factory can churn out over 400 million dairy milk bars a year, enough to stack into a tower taller than Mount Everest if laid end to end. Machines run around the clock, guided by teams of engineers, food scientists, and chocolatiers, who pour their expertise into every step. But it's not just technology, it's people. From the farmers harvesting cocoa in Ghana to the technicians fine-tuning the conching machines, thousands of hands shape this journey. A fun tidbit: Cadbury's recipe, born in 1905, has barely changed, a nod to its timeless perfection. Yet behind the scenes, innovation thrives. New flavors, like caramel or fruit and nut, are tested in secret R&D labs, keeping the classic fresh for new generations. Let's linger on the conching process, because it's the heart of Dairy Milk's magic. The conching machines, massive and gleaming, churn the chocolate for hours, sometimes days, refining it to a texture so smooth it melts on your tongue like silk. The process heats the mixture just enough to dissolve any remaining sugar crystals, while constant stirring polishes every particle. Technicians watch digital screens, adjusting speed and temperature like artists sculpting a masterpiece. The room is warm, the air heavy with chocolate's rich, intoxicating scent. And it's here that Dairy Milk becomes more than ingredients. It becomes an icon. A little-known secret: some batches are conked for up to 72 hours to achieve an ultra-premium texture, reserved for special editions. The molding stage is just as captivating. The molds, crafted from high-grade plastic or metal, are etched with precision to shape those familiar chunky rectangles, perfect for breaking and sharing. The chocolate, kept at a secret viscosity, known only to Cadbury's engineers, pours smoothly, filling every corner of the mold. Vibrating tables shake out air bubbles, ensuring a flawless finish. As the molds glide toward the cooling tunnels, you can sense the transformation. The liquid chocolate is moments away from becoming the bar you love. The cooling tunnels, with their precise climate control, harden the chocolate slowly, locking in its glossy sheen and crisp snap. It's a process so refined it feels like watching a gem being cut. Demolding is a moment of triumph. The bars pop out, their surfaces mirror smooth, catching the light like polished treasures. Robotic arms lift them gently, placing them on belts where inspectors ensure perfection with meticulous care. The packaging line moves at lightning speed, wrapping each bar in foil and purple paper with machine-like accuracy. Every wrapper is a promise, a guarantee of the joy inside. As the bars are boxed, the factory's rhythm never falters, a testament to the teamwork behind every bite. But the factory isn't just about production, it's a place of innovation and heart. In the R&D labs, hidden away from the main floor, chocolatiers experiment with bold new flavors. Imagine a test batch infused with a hint of orange zest or a dash of sea salt, carefully crafted to surprise and delight. These experiments don't always make it to shelves. Cadbury once tried a chili-infused dairy milk, but it was deemed too spicy for the classic crowd. Yet this spirit of creativity keeps the brand alive, blending tradition with innovation. The factory also hums with the stories of its workers, engineers who calibrate machines with surgical precision, scientists who analyze flavor profiles, and packers who ensure every bar is perfect. Each person is a thread in the tapestry of Dairy Milk's legacy. As we follow the bars to the final stage, they're boxed up and loaded onto trucks, ready to travel the world. Pallets stacked high with purple-wrapped treasure roll out, destined for stores from London to Sydney, Mumbai to New York. In Australia, fans snap up bars with local twists like honeycomb crunch or hazelnut swirl. In India, Dairy Milk is a Diwali staple, shared in glowing celebrations with family and friends. That first bite, creamy rich, with a perfect balance of sweet and cocoa, feels like a warm embrace. No matter where you are, back in the factory, the process never stops. Machines hum through the night, guided by teams who live for the art of chocolate making. Let's take a closer look at the quality control lab, because it's a world of its own. Technicians in white coats move with purpose, testing bars with tools that look straight out of a sci-fi movie. They use machines to measure the exact thickness of each bar, ensuring it meets Cadbury's strict standards. Others snap bars in half, listening for that satisfying crack that signals perfect texture. In the tasting room, sensory experts swirl small pieces of chocolate on their tongues, noting every nuance of flavor. A surprising fact: these experts can detect differences as subtle as 0.1% in cocoa content, ensuring every bar is consistent. If a batch doesn't meet the mark, it's melted down and reworked. Nothing leaves this factory unless it's flawless. The scale of production is mind-boggling. A single factory can process over 1,000 tons of cocoa beans a year, enough to make millions of bars. The milk vats handle tens of thousands of gallons daily, while sugar hoppers churn through mountains of crystals. yet every step is precise. From the roasting drums to the packaging machines, the factory is a symphony of sound-whirring mixes, clanking molds, the soft whoosh of cooling tunnels, all working in harmony. Behind it all are the people. Farmers in Ghana checking cocoa pods, engineers tweaking conching times, and packers ensuring every bar is pristine. It's a global effort, a love letter to chocolate lovers everywhere. As we near the end of our tour, let's reflect on what makes dairy milk special. It's not just the ingredients, cocoa, milk, sugar, or the machines that shape them. It's the legacy of John Cadbury, who started in 1824 with a vision of affordable, quality chocolate for all. That vision lives on in every bar, crafted with care to bring joy to small moments and big celebrations. Whether it's a birthday party in London or a quiet evening in Delhi, dairy milk is there. Its creamy richness, a universal language. Fun fact, Cadbury's purple color, Pantone 2685C, is so iconic it's trademarked. A symbol of trust and quality worldwide. The factory never sleeps. As one batch of bars rolls out, another begins, cocoa beans roasting, milk flowing, chocolate pouring. It's a cycle of creation, driven by passion and precision. In the R&D labs, new ideas are born. A limited edition bar with a hint of mint, perhaps, or a vegan dairy milk for a new generation. On the factory floor, workers take pride in their craft, knowing each bar carries their care to someone, somewhere. As the trucks roll out, loaded with boxes of purple-wrapped bars, you can feel the weight of this legacious century of chocolate, shared across continents. This journey, from cocoa pod to purple wrapper, is more than a process. It's a story of care, innovation, and connection. Every bar carries the effort of thousands, from the farmers who nurture cocoa trees to the technicians who perfect each batch. As we leave the factory, the hum of machines fades, but the magic lingers, a reminder that behind every dairy milk bar is a world of effort, ready to spark joy with every creamy, dreamy bite.